Hey guys, this is Mrs. Barrow. I'm here to explain to you how the agricultural revolution started, how we ended up going from nomadic hunter-gatherers to farmers and trade and economies and cities and all the crazy things that we have today. So we're going to start with step one. Originally, hunter-gatherers would gather food out in the wild and hunt wild animals. Okay, so it's like that would look like somebody finding a bush of berries, taking some of the berries, and then walking 3 miles until they find another bush of berries and then take those berries. Once we figured out that the seeds from those berries with water and fertile soil can produce plants, we ended up planting them all together, because why would you walk 3 miles in between food if you can have it all in the same place? So that's step one, is that man discovered that planting seeds in fertile soil and watering it would create crops for food. Step two, eventually, after planting all this food together, they realized other humans can come by and eat your food. So all that hard work you did, worth nothing. So people started building homes near the food that they were planting so that they could protect those crops from other people and animals and other issues that might happen. And that way it's easier to water it every day, and it just worked out more conveniently. So people started settling down in places where it was easy to farm. And before this, remember, hunter-gatherers, nomads used to move from place to place. This is the first time we saw settlements. And we saw settlements because of the agricultural revolution, because agriculture means farming. So because of the farming revolution, we began to settle. Okay, so that's step two, is building the homes so that we could protect our crops. Step three, we began to domesticate animals. There's really like three reasons that we domesticated animals, but we're just going to go over two today. The first one is, if you domesticate things like pigs and cows, you can kill them and eat them, and you don't have to hunt them. You can just keep them in a pen, and they're nice and calm and happy until they become your dinner, right? So even back then, we like to be lazy. Technology helps us do that. And the other reason is because we could get them to do farm work, which leads us from step three, which was domesticating animals, to step four, which is new farming technology. One of the biggest new forms of farming technology was the ox-driven plow. If you could train oxen to walk in a straight line with a rake on the back of them and seeds falling out, you could plant all those seeds super fast, and it's not you doing it. Probably like 3 times faster than if you were the one that was literally sitting there with a rake going. That would take forever. So step four, this new farming technology of domesticated animals ended up leading to a food surplus. Why? Because the food could be planted faster, more efficiently, and better. What is a surplus? Surplus is when you have more than enough to feed your family. Okay, so a surplus of food means you grew a whole bunch of food, you end up throwing out a bunch of it because you can't eat it. Or that could lead to something that's coming up in the future. So remember, 4 is new farming technology leads to, with the domesticated animals, leads to a food surplus. Step 5, food surpluses leads to population growth. Okay, so picture this: people are starving to death all the time. They're not healthy. All kinds of bad things are happening. All of a sudden, there's enough food for everyone. People don't die of starvation. People don't die of malnutrition, and because of that, more people are alive. So this surplus of food leads to a population growth. And remember this for this course, because it's going to happen more than once in history, that a surplus of food will lead to population growth, okay? And that was step 5. Food surpluses, make sure no one's starving, population growth. Okay, so now we're at step 6. We got this large population of people. There's more than enough food for everyone. What do? Simple. This leads to specialization. Specialization means that a person takes up a particular skill or job. Before this, everybody did everything on their own. You need clothes? Better make them. Need a basket? Better make it. But now it's like, you know what? You're really good at making baskets. I'm really good at growing corn. Why don't I give you some corn for some of those baskets you got? And that's going to lead us to step 7. But back to step 6, specialization. There's such a large population. There's more than enough food. We're going to be able to do different things that we're good at. Okay, so step 7, the final step, is specialization leads to trade. Joe is over there making carts. Kim is over there making baskets. I'm over here making fabulous burritos. They didn't have burritos back then, but let's pretend. Okay, and I could trade my burritos for carts and baskets, and that was the beginning of society. Before that, people didn't really, I mean, they could communicate, but they didn't really have a reason to communicate. This kind of forced people to talk to each other and work together towards a common goal, which made us into communities. And that's how this whole crazy thing got started. So that's really the agricultural revolution in a nutshell. It's how we went from being nomadic hunter-gatherers to trade, which was the beginning of civilization. It doesn't mean all the traits yet for civilization, but we'll get to that another week. So I hope this helped you out, and try to remember the steps the best you can. Have a great day.